Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at what are their true intentions towards you. There are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Fluorite, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Lemon Calcite, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Rose Quartz, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Fluorite, along with these cards, which I will start with to see what are their true intentions towards you. And this can be somebody from your past that you've been dealing with for a while. This can also apply to somebody new who has maybe caught your attention, is starting to spark some feelings within you. So just whatever resonates for your particular situation. We've got the Nine of Cups, King of Swords, Eight of Wands, Ten of Cups, Stork, Anchor, Key, and Trust, Spirit Path of the South, Personal Space, Oneness, Faith. So if this is someone you've been dealing with for a while, and maybe you've come to an impasse in your connection with them, there might have been some uncertainty about what their intentions are, where this connection is headed. if you've been in separation from somebody, if they see a future in this situation, what they want moving forward. This does indicate with the Eight of Wands and the King of Swords this desire to open up those lines of communication again, to speak some kind of truth, to deliver more information to you about this sense of joy and fulfillment that they feel with you. This desire to progress the connection with this energy of going from the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups, to experience each other more deeply, to explore each other more deeply in an emotional sense. Maybe some hesitancy or guardedness that this person had displayed up to this point, only diving in so deep into this connection and then being a little bit resistant to opening up further, to expressing the truth of their feelings. Maybe you both have been hesitating on the brink of those words, I love you. And this really indicates this person's, their intention, their plan, their desire to move beyond that, to open up their heart more fully, with this idea of the key here, with this lock and then the heart-shaped lock and then the key, that this person somehow sees that you have the key to their heart. There's something about this connection that really makes sense for them. It fits a lot of the requirements that they may have had, or kind of these dreams and wishes that they may have had of what the perfect partner would look like. Not in a sense maybe of kind of the physical circumstances between the both of you, but in how you make them feel, which can really help them to kind of get beyond maybe any perceived differences between the two of you. There's a sense of oneness. There's a sense of kinship, this idea of the two of you being birds of a feather. And this can apply to somebody that you've been dealing with for a while, someone from your past. This can also apply to somebody new, maybe that you've just started talking to, that has just kind of entered your world recently. And again, this idea of oneness, this desire as well with these two hawks on here, to really protect this connection, to really, maybe this need also to open up more fully about what they're feeling in the interest of giving you some kind of reassurance that they are invested in this situation, that they see a long-term future with this. They see you as somebody who really adds to the measure of their life in very important and intangible ways. And there is this desire to preserve what you have built, what you have been working towards, or if it's someone you're in separation from, to kind of step more closely to this connection, to kind of re-enter your life, or reinvest themselves more acutely than they had in the past, in order to kind of honor what you had built, this interest of kind of salvaging what remains. If you had maybe gone through a difficult period, you'd both kind of gone in your own direction with this idea of stork. This can really talk about kind of a rebirth or a renewal, sort of somebody coming back from your past and wanting to give things another go, wanting to kind of evolve the situation beyond wherever things currently are, to express to you, not just through words, but through actions as well. And also words, conversations, things that they may have been sort of holding back on, that really will help to solidify with the anchor, and create this sense of certainty within you that they are invested in this, or they are wanting to now invest in this at this period of time, if you had both gone your separate ways. That there's been a change of heart. Something has really become apparent to this person, that the two of you are better together than you are apart. There's this symbiosis, there's this entwined nature to your energies, where when you're both participating in this situation, it works really well, it flows very well. There's again this degree of kind of intangible and yet so important qualities of satisfaction that they experience with you, that they've not been able to replicate with others. It's different than what they've experienced in other connections in the past. There's this openness that this person has now to really trusting in kind of where their heart is guiding them, being led back in your direction. If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, again, kind of the, as you're getting to know one another, as you're exchanging information, maybe conversations that you're having, kind of deep things that you're sharing, or just this energy of this constant kind of back and forth between the both of you, that all of this is really adding up. It's culminating for this person in terms internally, in the sense of you are what they have been looking for, and that whatever kind of perceived differences or obstacles there may be on the outside, that something really draws the two of you back together. There's a sense of almost protection that they feel with you and from you, and kind of for this connection, this desire to take some kind of action, to make some kind of move, to speak some kind of truth that can anchor the foundation that the two of you are building in a more solid sense. Somebody who has this intention of opening up more about their feelings, maybe in direct ways. With the King of Swords, this can also be kind of a subtle energy, that through a series of conversations or exchanges with one another, you're really able to then kind of add up the pieces to the fact that this person finds a lot of harmony and satisfaction when interacting with you, that there's this sense of compatibility, really knowing each other at kind of a deeper soul level, a draw that they have to you that goes beyond just physical attraction, this desire to again kind of protect and therefore solidify the connection in some way further. With this idea of rebirth, this can also talk about stepping into the next phase or chapter of your circumstances together. Again, moving from the 9 to the 10, going out of the realm of maybe just flirtation and suggestion into some kind of declaration, something that kind of proves to you beyond a shadow of a doubt what it is that they are feeling. Even if this is someone who won't directly come out and say, I love you at this point in time, there does seem to be some desire that they have to shift or to increase the intensity of the exchange that is occurring between the both of you, to make more clear and more direct the feelings of harmony that they have for you, these feelings of love that are growing within them and that are being uncovered for them, or if this is someone you're in separation with, that have become apparent to them during this period of disconnect. This desire to move towards you, or to move more closely toward kind of focusing on that foundation, that truth, that key component that is here, that over time this person has been able to recognize. Kind of the more time that you spend with one another, it further anchors and creates that sense of certainty within them that this is a partnership worth investing in, that this is where their heart feels the most free, that this is where they feel the most seen and the most accepted and the most safe to express themselves, to really grow and blossom beyond whoever they have been up to this point in their life. Not this pressure to really become something else or become someone else, but it's an environment that's very nurturing for them. Energetically, they feel very nurtured to dive deeply within themselves and to really open up to some aspects of maybe how they're showing up in love and partnership that hadn't necessarily been fostered in other connections or in other ways up to this point in their life. There can be some clarity that's coming in as well through their interactions with you, or again, if this is someone at a distance, that distance has really afforded them some kind of a clarity here about changes and shifts that they need to and want to make in their own life in order to create something more solid for themselves, in order to be redirecting their focus on an abundance mindset, on experiencing that in a myriad of ways in their life. This can apply to things that they are doing for a living, what they are investing their time in. Somebody who's really seeing that kind of the dynamic of this connection, the energy that you two share, this bondedness, this kind of entwined nature that the two of you really have and you're building, or that in the past you had experienced, that this person is recognizing this as a key component toward kind of the growth of satisfaction in other areas of their life. This awareness that they have that this connection somehow is that anchor point from which they are able to then explore and kind of reach for other larger goals, a connection which both encourages and nurtures that growth in new directions or towards that highest potential. So again, in terms of their true intentions with you, is to definitely seek to nurture this connection a lot more, seek to preserve and protect what you have, or to come back into your life and really cultivate something out of what existed between you in the past, the potential that existed between you in the past. Somebody who might have just kept things at a certain stage, or there had been limitations, or maybe even somebody who had some fears of commitment in the past, fears of vulnerability, that this situation really had triggered within them and might have caused that kind of disconnect, that in the time and space away from you, away from this situation, it has really come to their awareness just how much this connection matters to them, just how much they feel very safe, very seen, and very understood in your presence. And there is this desire to really reciprocate that, to work hand in hand toward, fostering this deep appreciation for one another, this deep experience of the harmony that can exist. Somebody who might even kind of at a slow pace, sort of trusting the process, opening up very gradually, but nonetheless focusing more of their attention and intentions on kind of speaking some truth, letting these feelings that they may have been holding back on or holding inside, letting these things be known, so that the two of you can really evolve this connection to the next level, whether that's in the form of reconciliation, this person coming back from the past to try again, to start again, to really build on that foundation that the two of you once shared at a certain point in time, or if this is somebody new that has entered your world, to again kind of build and birth almost the next evolution of what is possible in this situation based on kind of this symbiosis that you two have established, this sense of satisfaction that they come away from their interactions with you having, this clarity that has come to them, that maybe what they were equating as part of their happiness before, what they were almost perhaps settling for, or were thinking that they, was really the epitome of what was possible in terms of connection with another person, that has somehow been exceeded through the dynamic between the both of you. They're becoming very clear that to move in the direction of this connection, to invest more fully in this, to give more of themselves than they have at this point to this connection is really the road to the actualization of a great potential that exists between the both of you, not just in terms of this connection and romance, but also in some way that this situation really helps to kind of fuel them in other endeavors, that it again anchors them to that sort of vibration of abundance and of happiness and contentment and fulfillment, which is then helping them to kind of magnetize in other experiences of that nature in their life and to overcome other hurdles as well. So this intention to again continue to build upon this, to give more into this, to protect this, to help this to grow, to nurture this, and to communicate this in maybe kind of some very sort of subtle ways at first, but this is the energy of building, where this is the intention to move beyond just suggestion, beyond just implication, and with these birds here also to really, speak that truth, speak those words, deliver these messages, these loving affirmations, this proof of their dedication to really unlocking the potential of what can grow out of this situation, to take what you've built or what you had together in the past, and to really invest time and energy in that to blossom into something new, something different, the next level of what is possible in this situation for the two of you. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 1, and see what do they want to tell you. They say, I started having insomnia since we last spoke. So if this is someone you're in separation with, it's weighing heavily on their mind at this point in time, this desire to actualize something in this connection, to move closer towards you, to speak some kind of truth they may have held back in the past. Or it's just this sense of anticipation also, if this is somebody new in your life, of kind of the energies are very ripe. this desire to speak some kind of truth, to invest more directly of themselves on an emotional level, in order to kind of move this connection to the next stage, to help to kind of push that and to flow with that as things really develop and blossom between the two of you. This energy of insomnia can also really talk about this sense of urgency, the sense of certainty that this person has, that in many ways you are wish fulfillment for them, and to tarry or to kind of hesitate much longer, or to kind of dig their heels in or not really seize this opportunity, opens them up to potentially losing what the two of you have built, missing an opportunity here. If this is somebody in separation, that it's this sense of urgency that now that this awareness has really come to them, now that they've had this opportunity from kind of that wider vantage point to really feel into the heart space and to be able to become very clear about that in a lot of ways you are that wish fulfillment for them. There's this sense of not being able to just sit on this information, that some kind of action needs to be taken. And it's this sense almost of panic about, is this too little too late? Kind of that sense of anticipation also, that kind of a nervousness about, the signs might be there, the very tangible chemistry between you might be there, might have been there in the past, but still there's this, again, this anticipation about how will you receive this? Are you open to them? Is this what you want as well? A little bit of fear may be holding them back about expressing these intentions, about where they see the connection heading, what they envision for you in the future, because they're not entirely certain. Are you going to be receptive to that? Are you feeling what they are feeling? Or is this a very singular kind of experience for them? And they say, I don't know why I didn't learn the first time, because I really don't want to be without you. So that can confirm the energy of somebody you are in separation from, and kind of in that silence, in that space that has now been created between the both of you in a physical sense. They're really looking back on this connection and what you shared together in that beautiful energy. And you may have kind of gone back and forth with this person on several occasions, kind of a lot of cycles of moving towards each other, only to have one or both of you get sort of triggered or kind of spooked and sort of retreat from things, a hesitation to kind of turn the page and open this connection up to the next level. And it's something where, they're really thinking about that. And there's, again, this sense of almost anxiety or anticipation that goes with that now is the time to make this move, almost a sense of time maybe running out. And with this knowledge, with this awareness that they have of how they feel for you, this kind of vision that they have of what this connection can grow into in the long term, this protectiveness that they even have over you energetically, and even in terms of kind of the memories and the precious times that you shared, somebody who's really treasuring that and holding that very close to them, that could be quite different from other sort of experiences of connections that they've had where then they've broken up with people. There's kind of that longing period, that mourning period, and then they're able to kind of let that go and move on. That this connection somehow is different from all of that. And it's making it acutely aware to them that in order to really change these circumstances, or again, this desire that they have to kind of sanctify this connection in some way to move things to the next level, that there's this sense of urgency to really do that. If this is somebody new who is in your life, then this can really talk about some reflection that is happening about other instances in their romantic past where maybe they held back on speaking their truth. And they've kind of been left with that sense of what would have happened if I had just spoken more plainly, if I had made my feelings known? Could things have worked out very differently? This can also relate to somebody that maybe stayed in relationships or circumstances beyond their expiration date, and kind of reflecting upon that. Again, that sense of not speaking their truth, not speaking their intentions, not making known what they wanted, and really hashing that out with the other person as far as, is this compatible, or is this something where, a lot of unspoken feelings and maybe this kind of other sense of connectedness, this other sense of attraction, is carrying us both beyond the point of no return, beyond this point where it logically makes sense, which then leads to kind of this very extreme collapse when things didn't work out. And so somebody who's really looking back on that and trying to learn from that experience, that it's only a disservice to themselves and to you to really hold this in, to really resist this, that for better or worse, to speaking this truth, whether you accept this, whether you're on the same page, whether you reject reject that, or it's something that can either strengthen the bond between the both of you, or you both end up going your separate ways. These kind of questions and thoughts that they are sort of wrestling with at this point in time, that it's starting to become very apparent to them that they need to make these intentions known, that to just kind of linger at whatever stage of the connection you are at, it deprives both of you of the opportunity to really open up to the greater potential of what can exist here. And it really keeps you both anchored and stuck, perhaps also in a state where if you're truly not on the same page, then it's kind of just delaying that inevitable. It's kind of just keeping the both of you at a distance, maybe from the heart that is ready and able to love you. And there is this certainty, whether this is somebody from the past or somebody that you are dealing with now, a new person that's come in, that there is this desire to evolve this connection. They see a future with you. They see you as somebody they could be with long term, that fulfills a lot for them emotionally. And it's something where the intention is to then make this known, communicate this in some way, or start to kind of redirect the conversation, or to lean more into that energy of opening up more to these emotional components, having those deeper conversations, speaking that truth that they've really been holding inside. And they also say, people look up to me and I don't want to let them down. So this can talk about somebody who, is maybe used to kind of keeping their emotions bottled up, kind of an impression of stoicism that they've been accustomed to really presenting to the world, that, talking about these things, being very emotionally vulnerable, it's something that's outside of their comfort zone. And so just as kind of a reasoning or an explanation, and this may even come up with what they tell you, what your conversation is, that this is very much outside of character for them to really talk about their feelings. It's not what they are the most comfortable with. And so this can really then relate into them kind of wanting you to have patience with them while they step outside of that comfort zone, while they kind of build up to that point of making that declaration, that very clear and concise statement, or you have that conversation, or that is really posed out in the open as far as where they would like the connection to head, what they see the future between you being, and opening that up to discussion, and to really seeing, how matched, how compatible are the two of you truly with this vision of kind of what you experience together, this sensation of harmony and fulfillment, and what can really be built from that. This can also talk about somebody maybe that you're in separation from, somebody from your past, where kind of this idea of pressure from other people, maybe what would people think of this relationship? Maybe there were circumstances that were a little unconventional, or were outside of the circumstances of what was kind of deemed as the right way to enter into a connection, or apparent differences between the both of you that might have really caused this person to shrink away from what they were feeling, and to take that more almost like a people-pleasing approach, moving in the direction of a partner that could have been considered more acceptable according to maybe this person's culture, their tradition, their religion, their family, their friends. Kind of this idea of, even though you're birds of a feather, that this might also be kind of an opposites attract situation. And there's been some regret about that in that space, even if they didn't move in the direction specifically of another partner, but just choosing not to participate, or choosing to kind of put a wall up or a barrier up, or only dive so deep into this connection in the past, that it's something, it's really kind of left them with this sense of dissatisfaction, almost this anxiety at depriving themselves and depriving you of this ability to really experience wish fulfillment. It's something that they're starting to kind of peel themselves away from, move back in the direction of this certainty that regardless of what other people think, regardless of how this looks, you are deeply satisfying for them on an emotional level. They feel this compatibility with you, this kinship, this sameness, this potential here. And there's this desire to really actualize that, to really experience more of what that has to offer. Regardless of how other people take that, regardless of how other people think. This is somebody who has this intention of moving in the direction of where their heart is calling them, as opposed to where kind of the ego mind is directing them. Okay, and we are twin flames. So that can be a confirmation for you if you resonate as a twin flame or a twin soul. You consider this person to be your soulmate, maybe a past life soulmate, a kindred spirit of sorts. We also have that here with the two hawks in this card of trust, where the intensity of this, kind of the differences between the both of you, maybe what was sparked within this person in terms of a level of emotional depth they were not accustomed to, that it caused them to kind of run from this, back off from this. It's really sparked and activated something within this person as well, kind of reaching for that greater potential and abundance in other ways in their life, that they are now at this point of acknowledging. Even if they don't use those exact words, it's a vibration, it's a sensation, that you two are better together than apart, but that this is a very necessary kind of phase in this process. Even if this is somebody that you are maybe just now starting to deal with, and they're coming up against this kind of wall within themselves, this intensity, what is growing, what is building, what is culminating, the direction that they are being pulled in, perhaps something they were not looking for, not anticipating. And they're starting to really dive into that and dig into that and see how, despite any of kind of the apparent differences between the both of you, you're very complementary to one another. You awaken something within one another. You spark something within one another. And there's this desire to feed that flame. There's an intention to explore further where this connection can head, to kind of overcome any obstacles that are creeping up, either internally or external circumstances that might be standing in the way from this harmonious union with one another, even in a 3D sense. There's this desire to really introspect and to work and to build and to almost burn away at whatever stands in between the two of you, to invest in you, to protect this, to work with this energy and to work with you in the direction of kind of reaching that pinnacle of emotional success, that harmony, that balance, to then manifest that out, as we saw with the anchor here, not just from that place of contentment in the emotional or energetic sense, but to bring that out into the material world. They also say, I want to spend my life with you. So there is a sense of certainty that this person is now acutely aware of just how much they can see you in their future, how much the future is brighter with you. You two are better together than apart. You're almost the piece that they were looking for. You have the key to their heart in some way, and with you, they see sides of themselves that they may have overlooked or had just kind of turned away from in the past. With you, the future feels very bright. This feels like somebody who might even be kind of resurrecting dreams from their past, a sense of hopefulness as well that really replaces maybe some kind of complacency or apathy that they had been in. If this is someone from your past, then again, and you're not in contact with them at this point, again, as they're kind of introspecting and they're really taking stock of the situation from afar, they're recognizing that whatever excuses, whatever came in between the two of you in the past, that it's insignificant compared to this feeling that they have of completeness with you. The two of you make sense. As much as you might not make sense, there's something about that which is very sensible. There's something about this which just feels right. Their heart is very drawn to you. And so it may be a process still of kind of negotiating their way beyond that, beyond kind of the ego mind and the excuses that they are making, or other things, the opinions of other people, physical obstacles that stand in between the both of you, to allow that heart to lead them in the direction of kind of building this, of coming back together, of a rebirth, of a renewal, of a growth in a more positive direction from wherever you have kind of left things. Or again, if this is somebody that you're dealing with right now, then this is growth beyond wherever things stand between you currently. And they say, I miss you and all your quirks. So this can tie into that idea of opposites attracting and just the little things, these little kind of intangible, hard to describe, hard to define characteristics about you, or things that really have taken place in your interactions with one another, that this person is starting to really prioritize. They're focusing on that these things are meaningful. They add up to a sense of almost being comfortable to be themselves in all their quirkiness, to let their authenticity shine through in a way that they may not be accustomed to with other people. They don't really have an outlet for that. They've not connected with anyone else quite on that level. It's the little things that they are thinking about. If this is someone you're in separation with, that they are really missing. And there are, of course, big factors, major kind of things that are checked off on their list of what they are looking for in a person, in a partner, in a companion, that it feels that you do fulfill this, even in an unorthodox kind of way. But this also feels like somebody who's focusing on the little things, maybe little acts of kind of caring and compassion that you have expressed to them that other people, perhaps people that have known them really well, have been oblivious to, have not really taken the time to consider. Something about kind of the nature of your heart, the nature of how you love, how you express yourself, kind of how you make them feel. Your way of looking at the world, things that you get really excited about, interests that you have, opinions that you have, the way you talk about things. All these little kind of aspects are adding in up for this person to where they're starting to value kind of the treasure that you are, and sort of the treasure that the dynamic between the both of you is as well. This safe space that you represent for one another, which has been hard to replicate in other connections, or it's something which, in hindsight, they've never experienced before with another person, and so they're starting to prioritize that, and it's really drawing them closer towards you and wanting to kind of move beyond wherever the energies exist, or evolve the connection to the next phase in some way. I'm going to get some guidance for you now, group 1, about the situation. And we've got ground yourself. When you detach from awareness of your body and the physical world, you become ungrounded. Although it's pleasant to float heavenward, your attention and work are needed upon the earth. We're helping you balance the spiritual and material so that you can enjoy a fulfilling earthly life. So this is really talking about kind of going with the flow of this situation. If this is somebody maybe new in your life, and you're starting to build, or you've been in this process of kind of building this intimacy with one another, to really allow that to take shape and to take form very organically, to not rush this process, to understand and acknowledge the feelings and the connection that you share together on an intangible level. It's very real and it's very valid. But this is something that will take time to germinate. It will take time to really anchor down into the 3D reality. And so kind of infusing this situation with that energy of patience, with that energy of diligence, with that energy of consistency, can really help this connection to unfold and develop into that actualized greatest potential of what exists here. If this is somebody from your past, and maybe you're even picking up on them energetically as they're thinking about you, as they're wanting to move back in your direction, and you're really sensing this, the guidance with that then is to take note of that, acknowledge that, but continue to focus on other areas of your life, not to put your life on hold with the intention or idea of this person returning to you. But what this person really enjoys and loves most is you and your authenticity. So not, again, putting your life on hold, but focusing on the things that bring you joy, focusing on that sense of personal abundance, focusing on the things that you need to do, the priorities that you have, your own personal goals, can help to kind of foster that energy of magnetization within you. You're operating at your highest vibration, and it helps this person to kind of perceive you energetically from that space, without kind of the doubt and the worry and kind of this insistence of time about when are they going to come back, when are they going to take things to the next level, allowing yourself to feel those questions, but focus on other things, tending your own garden, things that you really want to cultivate in your life. And also similarly to the situation of somebody maybe new that you're talking to or that you're dealing with, also with the person from the past, really allowing that with these butterflies here, allowing this connection to kind of metamorphosize at its own pace, whether this is a new person or someone you've been dealing with before. The awareness has come to these individuals, to this person, of what you mean, of kind of the significance of this, of how they feel emotionally about you. And so they're kind of in this process of finding the words, finding the way to kind of open themselves up, to step beyond that comfort zone, maybe of running from this, walls that they have around themselves and around emotional vulnerability, that again, it might be very much outside of their comfort zone, to kind of speak these truths, speak these things, speak very plainly about what they feel in an unmistakable way. And so as you continue to kind of allow this to unfold very naturally, you focus on yourself without putting all that energetic pressure and expectation of results or timelines. It really helps to create the energetic environment for things to unfold very naturally and in the time and manner in which they are meant to. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 1, this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got T, W, G, O, K, C, D, H, F, J, V, and E. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some peace or confirmation from what came through in this reading, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, and I've just started creating and adding in some dream catchers and sun catchers. So if you're interested in checking out any of that, again, the link is in the description box of the video. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the lemon calcite along with these cards, and I'll start with them to see what are this person's true intentions towards you. This can be somebody from your past that you're maybe in separation or no contact with, or this can even be somebody new that you're dealing with, somebody who has kind of recently come into your life, so just whatever resonates for you. Got the Empress, 5 of Cups, Page of Cups, Seven of Wands, Clouds, Heart, Letter, and Renewal, Spirit Path of the North, spiritual progress, success, hope. So with this idea of renewal and the Five of Cups, if this is somebody you were dealing with in the past that maybe you're in a separation from, there is this desire for rebirth, for reconciliation. Somebody who has really learned from the mistakes that they have made in the past, perhaps in ways in which they were kind of emotionally withdrawn or withholding themselves from you. They're starting to really appreciate and see your value and worth. Somebody who has this desire to kind of shift directions with clouds as well, this idea of shape shifting, to shift the approach. They may have been taking you for granted before, and now there's this appreciation. There's this desire to speak this, to speak very plainly about what it is that they feel for you. With Heart and the Letter, this can really talk about some kind of a communication, some kind of heart-to-heart conversation that this person intends to have with you, to really make things known. This idea of Page of Cups and kind of this fish sort of leaping out of that chalice there. This intention to really surprise you, to show you a side of themselves that you didn't even know existed, or maybe to also kind of infuse this connection once again with love that you may have thought had been lost between the both of you. Time and space having separated the two of you, in the sense of maybe that this person had moved on in a lot of ways. They might have moved on or attempted to move on, but there's a sense of you've always stayed with them. They've kept these memories of the good times that the two of you shared. You've not been out of sight, out of mind. You have remained with them. You hold a special place in their heart, that it may have taken other experiences in their life or just a period of separation and distance to really see that, to really recognize that, to really be able to cherish and honor you for who you are and who you are to them. With this idea of Seven of Wands here, this is really talking about somebody who has the intention of fighting for this, fighting for a new opportunity, fighting to make their way back into your circle of trust, fighting their way through whatever has happened between you in the past, whatever hurt feelings or a sense of loss has come, to move out of this energy of grieving the past, and to take a chance on a fresh start, to fight their way through any kind of fears of rejection, or again, anything that might have happened, any kind of rejection that might have happened, or ways in which they had pushed this connection, pushed you away. There's this intention to really push beyond that, to prove to you that they have changed in some kind of way, that they have evolved, that spiritual progress has happened, and perhaps even progress in other areas of their life, that they've really taken home some lessons of what has occurred in this situation. They've used that to their advantage, to really sort of bring themselves up into the next level, to evolve somehow. With these two eagles here on this card, this can also talk about kind of a twin flame or a soulmate dynamic, that they're seeing the two of you as very compatible. They're recognizing this connection as kind of a means to this ascension within them. As difficult as what has occurred in the past might have been, that ultimately this has been a vehicle for this person gaining a higher perspective about maybe the role in which they played in this circumstance, or the ways in which being kind of emotionally withdrawn, or maybe having this kind of perpetual fear of missing out, where they're constantly looking for, that green grass on the other side of wherever it is that they are. This person has really come to recognize how they maybe self-sabotaged in that process. They pushed away the best thing that happened to them, or the potential to really have a relationship with somebody, a relationship with you that could have helped to nurture them in other ways in their life, a place where they were really safe to be their authentic self, maybe choosing situations or connections or even just a lifestyle where it was very free. They were very much on their own, just kind of coming and going as they would please with no real kind of commitment to anyone, their heart not really being invested or on the line in these circumstances. But it's something where they've either reached a point in their life where now they are starting to appreciate and value how kind of necessary that component is to have deep and real and tangible and reciprocal love exchanged between two people, or it's something even through a series of other kind of disappointments, other heartbreaks that may have happened if a choice was made not to invest in this connection in the past. They're starting to realize how those choices have kind of brought them further away from this sense of sanctuary, this sense of peace, this growth internally and in other areas of their life that this connection really helped to infuse and to encourage. So there is this intention to invest more of themselves, to speak this truth, to touch on maybe some difficulties that you have experienced together in the past, rather than avoiding these things, rather than fighting these things off, choosing to be very conflict avoidant. This is somebody who has the intention of really addressing these things, looking at these things, again, in a very surprising manner. It could be quite out of character for who they are normally, and the way that they approach maybe emotions or even emotional kind of discussions of love or commitment, that something is really shifted and there's this intention to make that known to you. If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, somebody who's recently come into your life, this person really recognizes you also as wish fulfillment. They see you as the full package. And there's this intention to show up in your life in a way that is different from other people who may have broken your heart. Somebody who is wanting to take the time to really get to know about your wounds, not to use these things against you, but to really understand where you need love the most, where their loving energy could be of the greatest benefit to you and to this connection. Somebody who wants to learn how to love you, wants to learn what you need in order to show up as something different, to rewrite the experience you have had in love in the past, which again might be quite surprising. The way in which this person is wanting to invest, or the way in which they are really regarding you, seeing you in your full power, and liking that, loving that, embracing that. There's this intention to also again fight for this connection, to kind of in a gentle but persistent manner, to kind of work their way through any walls or barriers that you may have around your heart, to speak very truly to you, and to really have these conversations and this kind of interaction with you in order to again figure out and how you need to be loved. What do you need? Where are your wounds? What makes you smile? What makes your heart sing? Not in a manipulative sense of trying to craft themselves into the perfect partner to kind of get into your life, but just in a way of really understanding again what it is you need in order for love to be a healing experience this time around. And somebody who, the more that they are, really getting to know this, then they are starting to also understand how these two kind of aspects, what you need, how that really kind of matches up very well with some characteristics and parts of themselves that maybe had no outlet before. Other people weren't able to really receive that and appreciate that. And somehow there's this sense of compatibility that, you are the heart that is meant to love them, and they are the heart that is meant to love you. That these innate qualities about the both of you, the love language that you have, the way in which you are, very attentive to one another emotionally, or kind of interested in. Even if this is something that, again, it's kind of a new connection, there might still be some guardedness or defensiveness or walls that are up. There's this sense of progress happening, that in very subtle ways you're touching each other in the heart space, very almost unintentionally, but in a profound way. That this person's intentions then are to shift out of this energy of defensiveness and to drop more into that heart space, to open up more to the possibility of being that source of nurturing, kind of uplifting and fulfilling love for you, but also recognizing how you are that for them, that you just in your innate qualities and who you are, and the love languages that you have and how you express yourself and what is exchanged between the both of you, that this is helping them to kind of heal some grievances from the past, heal this sense of loss, this sense of heartbreak, in order to, be able to kind of move away their attention, shift their focus on what has gone wrong in their life in the past, what has gone wrong in terms of love, to redirect that attention and to invest more fully in what the two of you have, what the two of you are building, the potential that exists there for a new story in love, another chance in love, or for all kind of the mistakes and the hiccups that might have happened, this sense of a knowing that it was all kind of in preparation for the two of you intersecting, to come into each other's lives at just the right moment with just the proper wounds. The two of you have kind of this innate and organic and embedded medicine for one another to heal these things, not just to be a source of healing though for one another, but to really have that key to get deeply into one another's heart, so that you can unlock the potential of what love can truly be together. So somebody who, again, has this intention of exploring that further, showing you the best of them, and the fullness of themselves as well. Somebody who wants to present this well-rounded package to you, so that what you are getting, what you're receiving, is not based on duplicity. It's not based entirely on masks and facades, but somebody who has this intention of kind of shifting beyond that energy of kind of those initial impressions, and letting you in very deeply into their heart space so that you can see and you can appreciate where they have been wounded, what they need healing from, and what they are working on within themselves, to kind of give you some sort of perspective about any kind of barriers that they may have in place, any kind of resistance, anything that is really maybe slowing the progression of this connection to really developing and unfolding. This feels like somebody who also has the intention of taking things very slow in this connection. Not rushing things, but kind of easing each other's way gradually beyond, again, these boundaries, these heartbreaks, these barriers, these self-protective armor that may have been put up around one another's heart, so that you're able to really kind of ascend some narratives in terms of love, some experiences of love in the past. This person sees you as kind of this renewal of hope for them, that maybe some stories and kind of repeating themes that they had experienced in love, kind of a mediocrity of love, or a bad taste that was left in their mouth over many different heartbreaks, to kind of move out of that energy of bitterness into this state of optimism that, despite what they've been through, despite the ways in which love might not have really worked out or might have been lackluster, that there is hope, there is potential here for a bond between two people that can be very mutually fulfilling for one another, that can encourage one another to grow, that can, in a very gentle and nurturing pace, tap into some of kind of these deeper aspects, these shadow aspects of one another, to again learn how to love each other in just the proper way, and to just kind of innately infuse one another with this healing energy, so that self-healing mechanism is really activated within one another. This is somebody who intends to grow with you, who intends to be a very positive and healing force in your life. Either if this is somebody new that you are just dealing with, or someone from your past you may have had difficulties with, there is this desire to change how they are showing up in your life, to come out of that energy of maybe kind of a problematic situation, something that had a lot of disappointment, and to shift into almost this gentler energy, and yet this courageous energy, this determined energy, to fight through that, to fight through narratives that you may have been clinging to, or experiences that you've had with one another in the past, so that a new chapter can unfold, so that the two of you can really get onto the same page and transcend your beliefs about love, or transcend the experience that you've had one another up to this point. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you, group 2, and see what do they want to say. Okay, and they say, do you still love me? So this can talk about somebody from your past and some difficulties that you might have had with them. This desire that they have to move beyond that, to show up in a different energy, but not really being certain if your heart would or could be opened to them again. A little bit of uncertainty about if the trust is completely lost between the both of you. Is this something that can be salvaged? Is this something where if they provide you evidence of change through proof in the form of changed behavior, is this something where you'd be willing to entertain them, entertain a new beginning with them, or even entertain perhaps reestablishing a friendship with them as kind of the prelude to opening up to some of those more romantic elements of the connection? If this is a new person that you're dealing with, kind of this ties into this idea of moving beyond maybe the pleasantries, moving beyond kind of showing you their best face. And as they are letting you in more gradually, they're showing more of themselves, more of those difficult, rough edges, exposing more of the heartbreaks that have kind of led to this sense of barrier or boundary within them. There's this questioning about, do you like what you see? Are you still on board with this? They may have experienced a lot of relationships in the past where people just really gave up on them or left at a certain point, said that it was too much, they were too damaged, they were too intense. This person could have very extreme parts of themselves, a very romantic and very caring and very gentle part of themselves, and also this intensity that's there, a lot of unhealed wounds within them, kind of these howling wounds within them that to experience the sweetness of this person without the sour is only kind of one side of that coin. And they may have experienced a lot of people that could only handle or were only interested in kind of those more benign parts of them, but again, rejected them or weren't able to kind of keep up with that kind of other face of this person, weren't able to step into that place of compassion and empathy and to understand that that aspect of this self, the hidden aspects, the shadow aspects, are something which were kind of created, were formed, were forged through many different experiences throughout this person's life, and it doesn't make them innately a bad or a flawed person, but it's wounds nonetheless that they have maybe kind of tried to keep hidden, or they really haven't had anyone who has accepted them for these things, for kind of the full package. And so there is this sort of fear and hesitation maybe to let that wall down, let that guard down out of fear of you running away from them, you distancing yourself from this connection, because in the past that has been notoriously the case for them. They also say, I'm just trying to make it through the day. So this person is very compelled in your direction. If this is someone from your past wanting to return, it's very difficult for them to remain at a distance, to try to patiently make their way back into your life. There's this feeling of wanting to run to you, wanting to take down all the walls, take down all the masks, and just jump full force into this connection, into this love, but a sense of patience being required and that being very difficult for them. In order to really move back in your direction and to do things right, to not overwhelm you with their presence again, or to just seek to establish that foundation of really feeling out the wounds and kind of addressing the grievances that the two of you have had, that this is going to be a gradual process. And there is a degree of impatience with that. This person, very certain some perspective has happened. They're acutely aware in a way of what they have done in the past, and this intention to kind of prove themselves in a different way, to show up in a different way, to appreciate and value you, and sort of tend to and nurture this connection in a different way that, it's very difficult for them to kind of balance whatever they have going on in their life right now, other priorities, with this desire and urge to invest fully into kind of rebuilding this or making this work. If this is somebody new that you are dealing with, again, this idea really talks about kind of the two faces of this person. Not that they are two-faced, but just that they have two very different polarities to them, a very gentle side, a very loving side, a very nurturing side, and then there's also this deeply wounded part of this person that they try to keep inside and hold and hide away. And it's this idea of just trying to make it through the day, just trying to put that most pleasing face forward because they've faced so much rejection in their life. And so they've kind of had to create this wall or this exterior to kind of house those weeping wounds deeply within them. They see you as somebody, a safe space that they can really open up. They're very hopeful that that you possess the medicine that they have been looking for. They're very hopeful that, you know, to continue to kind of take off that armor and to allow you inside even gradually. They're hoping that you'll stick around, and there's a sense of really wanting to make sure that they don't give themselves fully over to this connection, that they don't put all their eggs into this basket, out of that fear and that hesitation, and even the memories of other times where they may have done that in the past, only to face that rejection and then kind of left to pick up the pieces. This is somebody who's trying to maintain that balance with what they've cultivated, what they've created, even if it's a world that is based on kind of this facade, or in a way in which they've diluted themselves down, that at this point in time, at least, that is very necessary, that they keep that foundation in place, because they're still operating from these kind of unseen wounds, from these kind of untapped areas of themselves. And they've learned enough through their life and through rejection that they need to kind of keep that in place. They need to maintain that structure that they have, so that in the chance that you aren't on board with this, that it's too much to handle, that what you see about this person just sends you running in the other direction, that they have something, some kind of stability for themselves, that they're not just left completely starting over, completely having to pick up the pieces of their life and of their emotions, despite also this desire that they have to just run and let all of themselves be known to you, to run towards you, to give into this connection fully. This person very deliberately trying to take things slow, that feeling the most comfortable, and them also kind of unconsciously knowing that that's the best method in this, to really get to kind of navigate beyond one another's comfort zones, and to really kind of gradually build on the potential of what exists here. So that kind of that transition from wherever you are at this phase right now to whatever can develop between the both of you happens in a very organic matter, that it's not kind of at the expense of everything else, but it's almost like kind of the slow replacement of things that might have been constructed again as that comfort zone, the way in which this person was accustomed to moving through the world, versus kind of this newness that is developing, or that is really brought up, or that they feel very inclined to kind of display to you, a new version of themselves kind of coming up out of this primordial soup of kind of all their experiences, the tender parts of themselves, the wounding, and then how the energetic exchange between the both of you is really affecting that, or catalyzing some kind of change in that. They also say, I've realized that I want you and I don't want to be a player anymore. So if this person had chosen maybe some other options, gone in another direction, maybe chosen to be single as opposed to invest in this connection in the past, if this is someone you were dealing with before, they really have seen that the grass is not greener on the other side. They are appreciating you. There's this desire to move into a deeper closeness, a deeper intimacy, to reestablish this bond with you. If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, there's almost this certainty that grows with them pretty progressively and over time, where the focus and their priorities and maybe where they had been investing themselves, that's shifting. The idea of that, their idea of partnerships and what is possible in that, what is possible in a romantic dynamic between two people, it's really evolving. The closer and deeper that they let you in, the more that they get to know about kind of these deep and wounded parts of you. It's awakening something within this person. Something is really growing, something is really blossoming. Their priorities are shifting. The vision that they have for the future is shifting, and it's shifting in the direction of really recognizing and wanting to experience more of kind of the healing quality that this connection affords. Okay, and we have, I hope you still love me. So that's a confirmation right there of the do you still love me card. And again, this person, if this is somebody from your past at a distance from you, they have hope that somewhere in your heart you can find the space to forgive them or open up to them again, or that trust can be reestablished, or that you can move on from where you find yourselves. If this is somebody new you've been dealing with, again, the more you are kind of spending time with each other, kind of getting to know each other, maybe beyond kind of that initial best foot forward phase. And there's this constant hope that this person has. It may even just be running in the back of their mind that, are you still liking what you're seeing? Are you still on board with this? Are you still, does this still feel good to you? It's this sense of uncertainty that they have. It's really triggering a lot of these wounds from the past at this point in time, of other instances where they were rejected, or where their authenticity was shown only to be misunderstood by others, or underappreciated and undervalued. They also say the timing isn't quite right. So, or the timing still isn't quite right. So again, this process of needing to take things gradually, as much as whether this is a new person or a person from the past wanting to rush in, wanting to reveal all of themselves, or kind of get to that pinnacle of success that they can imagine with you, this feeling of forever. There's a sense of knowing that this will take patience, this will take time, that kind of the purpose of where you find yourselves at this stage in the connection, or what this connection has the ability to blossom into, is a very healing experience for the both of you, kind of working beyond difficulties that you've had, if this is someone you've dealt with previously, or if it's a new person, that this connection can help to heal the both of you from heartbreaks and feelings of disappointment that you've been carrying around, but that this is a gradual process. Healing needs to come in layers. This person recognizing that the two of you have some armor, you have some wounds, there are things that will be triggered. And so it's a process of consistency in that, understanding that time is on both of your side, and to really take things at that gradual pace, to get to know each other, to be very meticulous and very deliberate with how you move towards and with each other energetically, allowing each other that time and space when necessary to kind of sit with whatever has been triggered, or to really assess and analyze kind of the next layer of armor that needs to come down, the things that you're learning about them, the things that they're learning about you, taking the time to digest that, and to recognize that this is this person's wounds, and what do I need to do in order to really be kind of a constructive force in relation to these things, versus kind of contributing more of a destructive energy to sort of this feeling of dissonance or chaos that is already housed inside. They also say, every day I think about contacting you. So if this is someone from your past, again, there's this desire to rush in. This is not an out of sight, out of mind situation. You're very much on their heart, in their heart. You're weighing heavily on their mind at this point in time. There's a desire to move toward closeness, but again, a sense of really planning, or some things that need to be shifted, that need to be taken into account, kind of a gradual unfolding that needs to take place. And if this is someone that you're dealing with currently, they're very excited, and they're very engaged in the interactions that you have. This is something that they look forward to. Even the difficult things that are really triggered, difficult things that you share with them, or that come up for you with this person, and kind of the uncomfortable process, the growing pains of really moving beyond those barriers and engaging fully in that healing process within and with one another. It's something that they're still very much participating with. They're very much on board with this. And again, there's this hope that you will continue to be as engaged and excited about this, about what is being uncovered, what is being built, what is being nurtured between the two of you in a very kind of slow and steady and yet solid pace. There's this desire that this person has, this intention that this person has to continue down this road with you, to continue seeing what can develop and unfold in this connection in the future. I'm going to get some guidance for you now, group 2, about the situation. Okay, and we have child. You care deeply about children, and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. So this is a great bit of guidance here as far as that element of wounds, things that either internally you two are really kind of navigating around and through and working through, if this is a new person or even somebody from your past, some wounds that may have really been triggered in the both of you by circumstances that occurred in the past in this connection, or that you're still kind of grappling with at this point in time. That for either scenario, that this connection really has the potential to afford the two of you a lot of healing. It's very important to sit with whatever comes up, whatever has really been instigated or triggered by the circumstances in the past with this person, or things that might be touched upon with somebody you're dealing with right now. As uncomfortable as that is, it's a matter of really feeling it in order to heal it. And through these periods where maybe things might seem a little bit difficult or a little bit uncomfortable, acknowledging that is creating this energy of healing in very subtle and yet important ways. And this definitely feels like a connection in either of those scenarios that really is this open door to a lot of healing, recognizing a lot of wounds, tapping on a lot of things archetypally, things you might have even been carrying around related to past heartbreaks, or even just the energy of what has kind of happened between you and this person in this dynamic, that you're really being invited to prioritize these things, tend to these things, address these things, regardless of and kind of independent of maybe looking for, this person to be that source of filling that cup for you. Not doing this work in order to kind of magnetize this person back into your reality, but looking even at the most uncomfortable conversations or experiences as this opportunity, this gift, to really tap into the root of something that dwells inside of you, to deal with that, to address that, to love that into a state of wellness by yourself, for yourself first and foremost. And when you do that, when you become an active participant in your own healing journey, in the ways in which that is really triggered or brought to your attention through the actions and interactions with others, you really are kind of making the most of the opportunity that presents itself through intense spiritual connections, through these intense kind of dynamics with one another. That it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Sometimes it's storms, but those storms are very necessary to kind of clear out some debris that we have been holding on to learn more about ourselves, our triggers, what we need, what our love language is, how that kind of interfaces with these aspects of other people. And it's from that place of self-knowledge and compassion for ourselves that we are able to then show up as that more kind of aware and compassionate partner for others in romantic situations and in other situations in our lives. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 2, and this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person. It can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got D, J, Q, Z, R, K, I, N, V, T, E, A, and O. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation from what came through in the reading, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you would like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, and I've started making and adding in dream catchers and sun catchers if you are interested in checking those out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the rose quartz along with these cards, which I'll start with to see what are their true intentions towards you. And this can apply to somebody from your past, somebody you are in separation from, no contact, or this can be somebody new in your life, somebody you have recently met or have just been starting to deal with. Got the Knight of Wands, the Tower, Temperance, the Star, Ship, Garden, Dog, and South, Shadowness, Lessons, Growth, Trust. So if this is somebody from your past, this person has an intention of shocking you with some kind of a transformation that has taken place with them. This could be words that you had spoken, an ultimatum that you had given this person, maybe even just some advice you had given them, or some kind of a seed that was planted within them previously that you may have felt had fallen on deaf ears, that they were kind of resistant to. You might have kind of given up hope of this person even changing. And some kind of a development has taken place. There's an energy of excitement here with this person wanting to come in and surprise you, maybe contact you from afar with this energy of the Ship, somebody you haven't dealt with or spoken with in a really long time. But that kind of as this personal transformation has taken place within them, it has increased their ability to be more loving to themselves and therefore to be able to show up for you as a constructive partner, as somebody who can really add to the measure of your existence rather than kind of creating more dissonance and upset for you. With the Tower, this could be somebody who's gone through a spiritual awakening as well, somebody who may have gone through some karma, some karmic cycles that they've really closed out. There's been growth, there's been evolution that has taken place, and there's this intention to really demonstrate that to you. With Temperance, this can relate to somebody even who maybe had some issues with addiction and they have gotten sober. They've really turned their life around. They've really cleaned up their situation. They are focusing also with Garden maybe on kind of a healthier lifestyle, really prioritizing their own health and wellness. Also with this energy of Dog, this is bringing, and kind of compared to the wolf that is on this card, somebody who may have really tamed some aspect of themselves, kind of a wild or an irresponsible aspect of their nature that could have really been a wedge or operated as a barrier in this connection in the past. And this intention that this person has to really keep the changes that they have implemented in themselves as a permanent fixture, to be able to, have this intention to kind of come out with the Star out of this dark period that the two of you have really experienced together, to kind of come out of this darkness that they've really been grappling with within themselves, and to demonstrate to you again something that has really been tempered or tamed within them. This could even be the energy of indecision, somebody who might have been kind of fearful of commitment, hesitant of that, somebody who was very much drawn and allured by you in the past, but then the intensity of what was exchanged, maybe even some kind of kundalini awakening that had taken place, this deep chemistry and compatibility that the two of you shared that could have been very uncharacteristic for what they were accustomed to experiencing physiologically in general, or even just through connections as a whole, that there's this sense of wanting to participate in this, wanting to give more fully to this than they had in the past, this intention of working with this energy as opposed to kind of fighting and pushing away from this. And this card here too, of the South and the Shadowness, with the image here of both the lion and the panther, the puma, the cougar. or I'm sorry, the wolf, although lion might be significant to you. Maybe you're dealing with a Leo, or kind of Leo season has been or is a significant time in your connection, or just this idea also with lions of stepping into one's personal power as kind of a process that this person has gone through, this intention that they have of empowering this connection. But there is this sense here of opposites attract, that maybe there was almost this energy of kind of the two of you fighting like cats and dogs to a certain extent as well, that your priorities were not really in alignment. What you were wanting out of this connection in the past and what this person was able to give or was willing to give were not necessarily in alignment, but that this person has this intention of really being reciprocal with you, maintaining their autonomy, but at the same time really giving and participating into what can grow between the both of you. Somebody who might have thought you were too opposite to make things work, and they're really now seeing that as kind of the fuel that is necessary to really stimulate the two of you, to keep things really interesting in this connection, to really motivate and push one another to that kind of cultivating of the best self. Somebody who also with this ship has the intention of kind of through the way in which they present themselves, carrying this connection energetically beyond what you had experienced with them in the past. With the Knight of Wands, this could have been a very kind of physical, sort of lust-based energy, and it had kind of a difficulty reaching those sort of deeper emotional levels. This person had difficulty opening up or allowing this connection to progress beyond that surface level. And there's been a shift with that, or there's this intention to open up to that, to turn the page on the situation, or to come back into your life, to turn up in a different energy in which you last experienced them in, to really demonstrate the growth that has happened, the reprioritization that has happened for them of what they are feeding their attention into, what they are valuing, what they're prioritizing, what they are wanting to give. Somebody as well who has this intention maybe of addressing some difficulties that you faced, or some long kind of hidden emotions that they have kept within them, to pour these forth, to let these things be known, to allow themselves and to allow this connection to move beyond just kind of that physical compatibility, that very 3D component that the two of you have had, and to move more into that element of spirit and of emotion and of heart. If this is somebody that you are dealing with currently, this is again got this energy here of a lot of physical compatibility and attraction between the both of you, and this intention that this person has to evolve beyond that, to even present you with this idea of a different kind of partnership than you have experienced before. Somebody who, you might have really experienced connections that were kind of either or. Either there was a lot of chemistry and physical attraction, or it was something that was deeply emotional, but maybe those aspects, those kind of physical aspects cooled off, or there was some kind of incompatibility, or, inability to kind of keep up with each other's needs, or to really satisfy these things. And this person, definitely wants to kind of address all of these things, to not just let this connection sit in that kind of element of physicality and how things look, and just in how the two of you are really kind of attracted to one another, not wanting to keep this at a superficial level, but somebody who really wants to kind of move this off into the terrain of emotions, somebody who has the intention of being a reciprocal presence in your life. On this card, and the star here also with this cardinal over here in the background, somebody who really wants to ensure that their presence in your life is one which fills you with a sense of safety, with a sense of security. Somebody who wants to, who really intends on making it very clear to you how attracted they are to you, not just in a physical sense, but in an emotional sense, in a spiritual sense, that they find you very fulfilling. Somebody who has this intention to be very loyal to this, loyal and kind of consistent with how they are sort of nurturing this, how they are feeding into this, making sure that you feel seen and appreciated and understood and respected and accepted on all levels of who you are. Not just somebody who looks good on paper, or who looks good on somebody's arm, not just being arm candy for somebody, but this is a person who wants to really make sure that you understand understand that your value to them far exceeds these things, that looks fade, looks wither. Chemistry can cool off. There can be kind of ebbs and flows in sort of the compatibility of two people. But this is somebody who wants to invest and who wants to make known that they get a lot of fulfillment from you at an emotional level, at a spiritual level. Somebody who is interested in kind of building with you in progressing this connection forward, on making sure that the two of you are fulfilled at that emotional level, that you are heard, that you are recognized for what it is you need and what it is you want. Somebody who intends to not make you compromise yourself just to accommodate them, but somebody who wants to fill your cup as much as you fill theirs. Somebody who really wants to help you as well to kind of release some emotional baggage that you may have been carrying around, experiences again that you've had of connections in the past, or maybe these were just situations of convenience, situations that were a little more superficial, where there wasn't a lot of growth. It was just kind of making do for the time being and maybe until something better came along, or there was just kind of that lack of depth, maybe connections where you had to kind of compartmentalize, where you were getting your emotional and spiritual fulfillment elsewhere, and it wasn't in the form of that romantic dynamic. And this person having the intention of really showing up and becoming that full package for you, really again kind of taking you beyond the experiences that you've had of love and connection in the past. With the Tower, this can also talk about a lot of destruction that has happened in your romantic past, and this person wanting to be and intending to be that source of peace and healing for you with Temperance, wanting to take their time, wanting to really kind of earn your trust and to open up gradually, so that you recognize that your value to them is more than just in how you look like, in what you look like. It's more than just this physical attraction. It's more than somebody who just wants to come in for a good time and then leave. That this person sees a very long-term future with you. That they see this as a very significant connection to them. That there's a sense of being very bonded to you and very loyal to you, even at this point. That's something which is still in this process of blooming. It's something which needs to be tended, which needs to be fed, which will take time to fully manifest and to be understood fully and completely. But this is something that this person is really, they're wanting that. They're wanting to move beyond kind of a disappointing or destructive phase in both of your lives romantically, or to help you come out of some kind of a period of kind of destruction and isolation romantically. Maybe a kind of a heartbreak that you had been reeling from, and this could perhaps be the first person that you're opening up to romantically. You're kind of getting back into the dating scene, or just somebody that you've connected with that has really kind of opened up your heart or reawaken those feelings. And so this person really wants to help you to kind of step kind of gradually out of your comfort zone, like kind of just dipping your toe in the water and kind of taking that time to sort of gradually acclimate. Somebody who has the intention of not making you feel rushed or pressured, but to just really open up at a pace that is organic for you. Somebody who also, taking into account kind of their own romantic disasters, may also have the intention to take things slow so that they too are not rushed, so that this connection really has the potential to be something which is emotionally fulfilling for the two of you, rather than kind of just a quick burner, something that starts off very intense and then cools very quickly. Somebody who is recognizing and admiring the differences between the both of you. Somebody who wants to, with this peace pipe here, tying in with that element of Temperance, wanting to be a source of kind of healing and comfort for you. Somebody who sees you as somebody that they can really grow with spiritually and personally in a lot of ways, and really has the intention of kind of working with that and co-creating with you whatever this connection has the ability to develop into in a time and manner that is appropriate and comfortable for the two of you. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 3, and see what do they want you to know. Okay, and they say, sometimes at night I think about the times we've spent together. So if this is someone from the past, or even someone you are dealing with now, somebody new in your life, both situations, there's a lot of reminiscing on what you have shared, experiences that you've shared together previously, or kind of what you're building toward together at this point in time. That it's this energy of kind of this gradual sort of culmination that either in hindsight or almost day by day, step by step, as you are building something together, that there is this feeling, this sense of this being a connection that is worth preservation. This is a connection that really leads to this sense of peace and understanding, of symbiosis between two people. This is someone who might have shown up in that energy of in the past, of just being very surface level, not wanting to get into these emotions, not wanting to open themselves up, not allowing this connection to progress beyond kind of that mundane aspect of things, of chemistry, or even an element of friendship, kind of with the implications of something more kind of running beneath the surface. That in hindsight, this person is really thinking back on that almost with a sense of regret and missed opportunity. There's this desire to show up in this changed energy, to demonstrate growth and openness that they might not have had before, to explore feelings that hadn't been really acted upon, or hadn't really been explored in the depth and nature of what is possible. This is somebody new that you are dealing with, then the time you spend together makes a great impact upon this person. They're sitting in that energy and that exchange. It's really it's bringing things to the surface within them. It's creating almost this deeper awareness within them as time goes on, that what they feel so strongly drawn to you in terms of is really this kind of spiritual dynamic that the two of you shared, and that this is not something that means that this connection is just limited to that element. There is this deep kind of physical and tangible attraction that they have to you, but there's also almost this other layer that they may not have experienced in a single person before. This could also be that energy of kind of compartmentalizing romantic relationships that they've had that were just lacking in that kind of emotional capacity or in that spiritual level. And it's almost that they found the full package in this situation. And there's this desire to nurture this, to continue to allow this to blossom, to be very patient and consistent with this, so that the two of you can really actualize almost the fullest potential of what exists here, what can become out of this situation and circumstances. And they say, I can't listen to music right now because I hear you through songs. So whether this is someone from the past or someone new, someone currently that you're dealing with, it feels that the two of you really communicate at the 5D level through songs. You may have sent songs to each other. Music could be very important to this connection or the connection from the past. And this is something that, this person is really, they're reminiscing about. They're being very drawn to that. It could be almost very difficult to sort of listen to songs that you shared, your song or a playlist that you had together, or even just music in general is giving them a lot of that kind of nudge and that push forward, that certainty. Maybe somebody who's almost kind of drawn to listening to love songs, as difficult as that might be, as resistant as they might be to that. There's a sense of really being pulled in that direction, getting again some kind of messages or confirmations, or really aligning them vibrationally with where they want this connection to evolve into, where they see this connection growing. Somebody that you're dealing with right now, they again could really be kind of getting some confirmations through that, hearing songs, hearing love songs even, and finally, or for the first time, or at this point in time, they're able to equate that with a feeling that they have with you, with a feeling that is being created, and that could be very intense for this person, very kind of eye-opening, this element of a spiritual awakening that, as they're feeling that connectedness and these songs are starting to resonate with them at that deep kind of like heart and spiritual level, it's helping them to really see this connection, the potential here, and the direction that they want to move in with you from fresh eyes. They also say, I promise I won't ever break your heart again. So someone from the past really wants to come back in that changed energy, that changed behavior. Hindsight really having been very valuable for this person in ways in which they might have taken this connection for granted in the past, or even some personal changes that they've gone through that has really opened their eyes to how they might have really kind of operated in disservice to this connection in the past by not allowing themselves to open up more fully, by trying to just keep it contained at that friendship level or that kind of physical connection level with one another. And there's this sense in this person of, if you were to open the door again to them, if you'd give them another chance, then they have this intention to really invest more fully, to being that reciprocal partner, to moving beyond the difficulties you've experienced in the past, so that you can move into this energy of peace with one another, to nurture the bonds, the seeds that were planted between the both of you, the love that still exists, the cords that still kind of attach you both at the heart level and kind of etherically, to make the most of that as opposed to sort of push that away. If this is somebody that you are currently dealing with, then it's this idea also of kind of some difficulties you've experienced in your romantic past that they might be aware of, that they are really committed to not showing up in that same energy for you, not wanting to be a repeat of another in a series of disappointments for you, but wanting to really be that kind of breath of fresh air, understanding that even just what you've been able to build and create and experience with one another at this point in time is so beyond even heartbreaks and experiences, and even the deep intimacy that they themselves have experienced in their life in the past. And it's this sense of being very compelled to you, this sense of knowing that, you know, there inevitably will be kind of points of contention, fights and disagreements, areas where you don't see eye to eye. But there's a sense of compromise in this. There's a sense of really commitment and being able to work through these things, not out of a sense of duty or obligation of, well, let's work through this because we've made the promise to do that, but just in the way that the two of you blend kind of energetically, that even as things have been triggered kind of initially at this point in time, there's been a sense of really kind of bonded with one another as you are flowing through these storms, or even some of this kind of turbulence or anxiety even. Whether that's internally, kind of remotely and quietly feeling that bond, supporting one another, or if this has been things that have really come up in your interactions, and there's a sense of consistency with that, a sense of just being able to flow and move through that and kind of smooth that out, come to that place of kind of peace and resolution. Almost very easily or very effortlessly, or in a way that is very much indicative of kind of a tandem endeavor that you two have experienced, or that you're participating in. Somebody who might not be accustomed to situations where it's so almost second nature to kind of work through these things, that whatever bumps in the road might occur, that it's something that you two are really in that together. And so kind of as these things are happening, it's creating this certainty within this person, that this situation, this connection really has the potential to be something very beautiful, as a contrast to maybe a lot of deep heartbreak and disappointment they've experienced in the past with others. And we have every day I think about contacting you. So someone from your past is really wanting to come back in that changed energy, really wanting to give this connection another chance, or to show you a side of themselves that they had denied you access to in the past, or that didn't exist. Maybe some personal changes that have occurred that have really kind of unearthed this within this person. And there's this element of excitement, a feeling that you would really like the changes that you would experience, that they've come to a place in their life where they are equipped, they are ready, they have the tools that are necessary to create some different results in this circumstance. And there is this draw to reach out. This person can also be in the process right now of kind of figuring out what they want to say, maybe drafting a text or an email, or just kind of getting very clear within themselves how to do that, how to kind of make that reintroduction into your life in a way that's meaningful and that can create change. If this is someone that you're dealing with currently, again, they're very much feeling this deep compatibility with you, attraction to you on multiple levels. They enjoy the time you spend together. There's this excitement to get to uncover more of what this connection has to offer. Kind of the more they get to know about you, the more they are discovering about themselves. There's growth that has taken place. There's evolution that has taken place, maybe even very quickly, and in surprising ways in this connection that they've not even been able to achieve or attain with people they've been with long term. And it's this quality quality of almost this spiritual component, this spiritual compatibility. The two of you really leveling up in this situation and ascending very quickly beyond even obstacles that might have been kind of the make or break situation in other circumstances in their past. Any kind of bumps in the road or points of contention that have come up. Or that they are anticipating might inevitably surface in the future. There's still this excitement to work with you, to work beyond these things, this hopefulness that they have as well. That this connection, somehow and in a way they can't put their finger on quite yet, it has all the makings for something that can really exceed what they've experienced in love in the past, to exceed their expectations in the best way, and can really be the source of enlightenment as far as the heights that love can really take one to. As well as kind of the growth and the partnership and really being in it with somebody through thick and thin, through any kind of lows or shadows or valleys that the two of you might experience personally or even in the dynamic. And it's this sense of excitement to see what can happen next, to see where this can go, where this potential can lead to, that they're really liking what they've experienced with you so far, and it's this almost this thirst or this hunger for more. And we also have, I hope you still love me. So someone from the past, again, wanting to return to your life and not really being sure how you would receive them, hoping that you would be open-minded, that you would hear them out, that you would really look beyond whatever had occurred between you previously and would feel into this person energetically, that the changes that they've made, maybe some massive lifestyle shifts as well, that would be reflective in their energy, that would be sufficient to really open this door to reestablishing a friendship first, or to getting back on track with the romance, or taking things to the next level. They have a lot of love for you. You've never not been in their heart. And this circumstance, whatever has happened, kind of in hindsight, it's really awoken something within this person. They've been on this massive kind of journey of up-leveling and growth in a lot of areas of their life. And through all of that, through the change and the turmoil, the things that might have crumbled, the dark nights of the soul, the things that might have fallen away, there's been this kind of beacon, this anchor point within them of the love that they have for you, the bond that they have with you, and the sense of the two of you really being in this together, supporting one another energetically through these changes that this person has gone through individually, and also that you have gone through individually. And with that, there is this hope that love can really conquer any storms, any circumstances, this hope that this person has that love will be enough to really regenerate something, or to kind of evolve this connection to the next stage, so the two of you can then participate equally in kind of building upon that. If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, then there's this hope that they have, that whatever kind of difficulties you two may face in the future, that love will be enough to carry you through that. There's this hopefulness that they have as well, that they are starting to become more and more certain of as time is passing, as the two of you are spending time together, you're getting to know each other, something is really blossoming and developing between the both of you, that this love is very different. This connection is very different. This connection has all the makings of something that can really stand the test of time. That whatever challenges might surface, as much as, elements of the connection might cool for certain points, over certain points in time, that there's this bond, there's this layer to all of this that kind of transcends all of those sort of 3D or even emotional circumstances, kind of that energy of the ebb and the flow. A person who feels very connected to you at the soul level may consider you almost a twin soul or a twin flame, a soulmate, a kindred spirit, some kind of past life connection here, where they're understanding sort of the two of you and the potential of what you have to grow into, the bond that you share. It's something which really, on a certain level, is unbreakable, and it's helping to really carry the two of you beyond any kind of disappointments, any preconceived notions about love, or that had been shaped by disappointments in love. It's opening the two of you up on the heart level to experience love again, or a new layer of love, or a higher love than you may have thought was possible. And that this connection, it really makes this person hopeful for the future and excited for what can develop. They also say, I push people away when they get too close. So this can apply to the new person you might be dealing with, or somebody from your past, as just kind of a tendency, a defense mechanism within this person to kind of shy away from deep emotions. Again, a lot of heartbreak from their past. That doesn't, it's not an excuse for kind of poor behavior, but it's something that they're trying to work through. It's something which they may have already taken steps to really address that, either the new person recognizing that tendency within themselves and really seeking to kind of show up in changed behavior, so that the mistakes of the past, ways in which they might have sabotaged or kind of kept love at a distance, that it doesn't kind of replicate in this circumstance. If this is someone from your past, they've come to some kind of recognition about that maybe their hesitation or their resistance to open up to what this connection could become really stemmed from, again, these wounds or heartbreaks that they've been carrying around unconsciously with them, this baggage from the past. There's been a release to that, or efforts that are being made currently to do that, to move in a new direction, to open up, to be vulnerable, to be willing to exchange on a deep emotional level with another person, to talk about their feelings in a way that might be uncharacteristic for them. It's something that's a work in progress. It will take patience. It will take time to really kind of work beyond these things, whether this is the new person or the old person. But it's something where it's definitely a point that in either of those circumstances is acknowledged, is recognized. Maybe even with the new situation, this is something that has been triggered within one or both of you already at this point in time, with that energy of kind of difficulties or bumps in the road that you have faced, and yet there's still this commitment, there's still this desire to kind of move through that, work through that, kind of navigate and negotiate through that, step into that energy of patience, to where very organically then those kind of blocks and comfort zones can kind of be transcended, can kind of be moved beyond. There's a sense of hopefulness as well that both a new person and even someone from your past has, that this connection has the ability to kind of transcend that tendencies of the past, an inclination to self-sabotage or to kind of keep love very remote, only focus on kind of more surface level connections at the expense of kind of those deep emotional bonds, segmenting these things, compartmentalizing these things in one's life. That in some way this connection is that full package. It's the material and it's the spiritual, and it's a new kind of terrain or environment of love from which this person has been accustomed to dealing with. It's something that there's a bit of nervousness, there's a bit of fear associated with that, but also this desire and this excitement to push past that in the interest of really making the most of what potential exists here in this connection. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, group 3. Okay, and we have Law of Attraction. Each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends, so invest wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with love, peace, and harmony. At your request, we will gladly attune your energies to higher frequencies. So this is really encouragement to, again, kind of like the Temperance card talks about, this energy of patience. Not putting your own emotional needs on hold, or putting your life on hold while waiting for another person to really, kind of take action or to show up in changed behavior, but to understand that when you maintain this degree of kind of hopefulness and of patience, and you allow, another person to really develop and to step into that fullest version of self, to open up their heart at a pace that is organic and natural to them, you create that vibration then where you are magnetizing in people who will also respect your boundaries, your needs, will allow you to kind of develop at a pace that is organic to you. There's a symbiosis here in this connection, an experience of love as a force that allows, in contrast to love that may have been conditional in circumstances of the past, or love which sought to kind of contort or shape or was very demanding of what needed to occur. There's a sense here of this connection, of the actions that are being taken individually between the two of you, and then also what is being created energetically, either from a distance, if this is someone from your past, that there's still an act of creation that is going on as you both have kind of focused on yourselves as individuals, or someone you're dealing with currently through, again, that process of focusing on yourselves as individuals and what you're then able to create together in the times that you come together. that all of this is really manifesting kind of that higher level of love that you've been kind of wanting and seeking, and maybe has been very elusive for you. So continuing to focus on that best possible outcome, knowing that at the time and in the manner that it is best suited, that the love you are seeking will arrive, whether it's in the form of this connection, this person in the past coming back into your life, or somebody new that is still on the horizon that you have yet to encounter. That these experiences with all this kind of different energy and these dynamics can all be kind of teaching experiences, people mirroring to us things that we need to heal within us, expectations that we have of how something is to unfold. We're able to really meet that expectation at the horizon by embodying that energy within ourselves. If we want a love that is patient and that is kind, we must ourselves first become patient and kind with another. And through that process of embodying that, practicing what you preach, living that and embodying that, it helps to really create that conducive environment for, again, this energy to really be kind of calibrated within the person that you're dealing with or the person that you're thinking about, or it again helps to draw in and attract a resonant vibration to that from somebody in your future. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 3. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got S, P, K, G, M, D, V, H, R, X, Z, L, I, and N. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation out of what came through in the reading, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, and I've just started making and adding in dream catchers and sun catchers. So if you're interested in checking any of that out, again, the link is in the description box. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.